What general advice would you give to students about to start university?
I think one thing, like looking back on it, one thing I would say is like universities and schools don't do a very good job at like preparing you to make a good start at university. You get the qualifications, but you don't necessarily have the skills to make a good start. So one thing I would say is like this is like your first step almost about like becoming an adult, like learning all those life essentials. So if you get a chance, take the time to look at personal finance. It's very, very important. It's very important that you know how to budget your money, because I know some people who've got into like £1,000 overdraft within the first 2 weeks of freshers because they don't know how to manage their money well, and that's crazy. If you're doing that, that is crazy. So make sure you understand how to budget. Make sure you know how to allocate your student finance if you're getting any, and make sure you don't just spend it all on like non-essential like alcohol during the first month. Even if it's freshers, you need food, you need groceries, and you need clothes, and you need like your mobile contract, and you need like bus pass to get to uni. So make sure you have budgeted for all those things. And if you get the time, make sure you look into like how credit cards work, because if you know how to use them well, it could be a great asset and you can like build your credit score. But if you don't know how to use them well, you will pick up debt, and that will be a very crazy thing to do in your early 20s. So personal finance is a very, very big tip I think every person should learn. Another thing I would say is before you get to it, like you should really be proactive about like your career and your professional life beyond academia as well. Like the current job market right now is very competitive, and it's gonna get 10 times worse because of COVID-19. There's just not that many places left in companies. So make sure you're kind of proactive with like researching what you want to do. If you don't have like a clear path for what you want to do after university, that's completely fine, because you're there to figure that out in a sense. So like make sure you search what are like different career service that your university offers, what kind of internships or what kind of companies do they have contacts with, who can I approach if I need help. Make sure like you don't need to have like a thorough list, but just make sure at least you're aware of all these resources. And my last and third final tip that I would absolutely recommend to every single student is engage with mental health at university. This is one thing that I probably didn't pay that much attention to. Mental health is like, it's a difficult subject to talk about because people think, oh, if I don't have stress or if I'm not depressed, I never need mental health resources. But mental health is like, you build up that toolkit for when you're not feeling well, you know how to deal with it. It's very unlikely that you're just gonna have like all the questions figured out. There's no way that's gonna happen. You're gonna be stressed one night because you have like 10 assignments due, like you have internships deadline coming, or you just don't know what to do with your life after next year, like, or there's things going on in your family, and it's a difficult like situation to be in. But if you know like the different mental health resources that are available at your university, or like a person you can talk to if you find yourself in a difficult situation, is very, very important. So pay attention to your mental health. It is absolutely essential. So yeah, these are my tips for students.
What advice would you give to students about to start at Warwick?
Starting at Warwick specifically, I would say is make sure you've kind of figured out, if you're someone who's living away from the accommodation in your first year, make sure you figured out like which buses to take and like how much the travel costs and things like that, because in the morning when everyone's trying to get for 9 a.m. lectures, public transport is so crowded sometimes that you don't even get to catch a bus. So make sure you've researched that. Another thing I would say is I know some people who missed their lectures in first year because they didn't know how to access their timetable online, and that is a very sad excuse. So make sure like Warwick is like it does everything pretty much online. We have like Moodle, so pretty much all your assignments, tests, timetable, any conversations with your professor, like most of the things are online. So make sure you know how to use like these platforms really well, because you don't want to be missing out on like an assignment just because you didn't know how to use the platform. So invest your time in these essential things because they are important.
Okay. And what advice would you give to students about to study your course?
For biochemistry, I would say make sure, like, if you do want to do some preparation before you get to uni, like, just make sure you kind of dust off any like old like basic chemistry equations or like how mechanisms work, because that would be really helpful. Also, if you've engaged well with your A levels in biology and chemistry, I think the first year, I won't say it will be a breeze, because even though it is the first year, you'll still will be learning quite a lot of content. But there wouldn't be like a concept that is so challenging that you can't grasp it. So if you really want to be prepared over the summer, you could have like a quick read over your chemistry and biology notes from A level, and it will just make sure like all the basic knowledge is kind of already there when you get to uni, and you can make like a head start on some other students.
Okay.